Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to give you a tutorial how to do IELTS Task 1 about process and diagram. So this is actually a very good example of how to do it. Now, recently I found my students, my student did the test, and then most of the times we discuss about the bar chart, pie chart, line graph. And surprisingly, we rarely discuss or never discuss about the process and diagram of IELTS Task 1. And then that's actually the one thing that show up as the IELTS Task 1 at the day of the test at the time for my student. So that's why I myself personally take this seriously, and then we start discussing of how to encounter or deal with this the IELTS Task 1 that relates to process and diagram. So we have this one. So the questions is actually asking about the question stated that you should spend about 20 minutes on this task. The diagram illustrates the process that is used to manufacture bricks for the building industry. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Write at least 150 words. And then we see this is actually the process, the brick manufacturing process. We have the digger, and then what's actually being taken out is the clay. There's metal grit, roller, sand, water, or mold, wire cutter, bricks, and so on and so forth. Now, what are the things that we need to do here? What are the strategies that we actually can do here? For me, I think what we should do is that there are 5 steps that we can do. Okay, what are the 5 steps? So the first one is that here we need to be able to paraphrase the introduction and then state the overall, define and outline the first part, and then the fourth one is define and outline the second part, and after that we wrap up and then we write down the final part and conclusion. Okay, now the first thing is that we need to be able to paraphrase the introduction. In other words, we need to be able to be different with the previous statement of the task. So what we should do is that we write down the diagram explains the way in which bricks are produced for the building industry. Now this is our beautiful introduction, guys. And after that we need to be able to give the idea of what we actually want, what we like the overall statement, what we are trying to do, what is the single sentence that can covers or like can summarize all the things that we are going to explain, especially the process of making the bricks. So the overall we can say like how many stages that we actually see to make the brick. We actually can see it from the graph. Okay, so this is the graph. Now as you can see, there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, more or less there are 7 stages. Okay, so what we need to write? So we need to start with the word overall, and then we say the process consists of 7 stages, beginning with excavating. So guys, the word there actually being used is actually digger, right? But for me, I know from the perspective of engineering that there's actually an excavator. So the verb word that actually more suitable to be used is excavate, okay? Excavating the clay and ending up with the bricks delivery. Okay, done. Now that's our uh, second step by writing the overall statement. And now we move to the third step, which is actually we need to be able to define which one is our first part. Now, and for me, if I see the process or diagram here, I define the first part from the digger clay until the mold, wire cutter, and bricks, which is like the first one, this one here. This is my first stage. Okay, and then what we should do here, of course, because we need to say as the first step. I mean, as because we actually try to start something new. So I think it's a good thing we say it as first of all the raw material which is the clay are collected and dug using the excavator. Now here you actually may use the word digger, okay, but I prefer the excavator here. And then after that, the clay materials are refined using the metal grid. So that the fine grain clays can be obtained. If you see, I actually use the specific word here, fine grain clays. Grain is a technical word here for anything that relates to sedimentary rocks. I mean the constituents or the components of rocks. Okay, basically this is like related to geology. So fine means something that's actually very smooth. Okay, fine. The antonym of fine is coarse, coarse. So what we are trying to get is that from using or refining the clay is actually we can get this fine grain clays. Okay. And then after that, I said this fine grain clays will be mixed with water and placed to a machine so that will be mixed and placed to machine. Oh no, to machine when they will be formed. I think will be mixed with water and placed to machine when they. I think instead of using when, we should use in which. in which they will be formed into bricks using wire cutter or poured into molds and of course shaped as bricks. So we are done with the third step, which is this one, guys. We already explained the process of the first stage from this one, second one, the third one. And now we move to the second part, okay, which is the fourth step here. We define and outline the second part of the process. And then I said, because this is like the next stage, we can say in the next stage, all this mixture. What mixtures? Here, right? All this mixture, you see it's actually being brought up to drying oven, and then after that, you see there are like 3 processes that actually being followed after that. So this is my definition of second stage. Okay, all this mixture of water and fine grain glaze will be heated for 24 up to 48 hours. Now this one, like, if you see, this one seems like too many words, right? Because 24 hours, basically 2 days. So we can say for 2 until 48 means 2 days. Wait, for a day, for a day up to 2 days. And then we delete that. And then we say there are 2 procedures of heating up these bricks. Okay, why I actually say that there are 2 procedures of heating up this brick, because we see there is like first treatment of moderate temperature, and the second treatment or second way of feeding is that using high temperature from 870 degrees Celsius to 1300 degrees Celsius. So how we actually say this? So we say first, these bricks will be heated up to moderate temperatures, around 200 up to 900 degree Celsius. And then after that we say, then these bricks are then heated. Now it is tempting for us to use like the word like then these bricks are, but we need to come up with a little bit variation. What I mean this variation is that the word then, instead of in the beginning, here in the beginning, you actually write it down later after the to be are. So these bricks are then heated up to high temperatures, ranging from 870 to 1300 degrees Celsius. Perfect. And after that, what we should do? Again, we already, oftentimes we actually use the word after that. Then, what are the words that actually we can use besides those two words? We can say subsequently, these bricks will be cooled in cooling chamber for about 48 to 72 hours. Okay, 48. Now, again, 48. How many days are there? How many days are it? How many days this one to be? 48 is 2 days, right? 2 until 72 is 3 days, right? So we are done with our 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth step. And then we go to our last step, the fifth step, which is basically we explain the final process or final part, and then we conclude. So we say after all, so if you see here, now the last one is about packaging and delivery, right? So how we actually try to write these sentences about packaging and delivery. So we said after all these steps conducted, these bricks will be sent for the packaging and are ready to be delivered and distributed to the customers in building industry using trucks. So done. So the word count is 219 words. So we are done, guys, with a beautiful paragraph of IELTS Writing Task 1. I hope you can learn from here and you can apply all the things that I've said and I've taught here. Okay? Thank you.